Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we are on the map Submarine, which is a map I don't believe I've commentated these bots on. And yeah, it's gonna be one of the bots that I think I've cast the most. In the top left, it's MicroMachine with his pre-game chatter, as always, saying he's got a 91% win rate against Spiny. I guess I said he, but really it's a bot, so my bad there. But yeah, Spiny, the Zerg bot, gonna be taking on MicroMachine. Interestingly enough, Spiny individually microing its drones, the way that it does it, makes it so that these drones are actually, the hatch is showing less of a worker count. And I wonder if this really is more efficient, the way that Spiny does this, individually microing every single drone. I imagine it has to be, because it stops any potential drone wandering if the drones are sent to like a different patch or something. Yeah, that's interesting anyway. But yeah, Spiny taking on MicroMachine in a good old TVZ on the map Submarine. These two bots gonna be going at it. I've cast Spiny before, I've cast MicroMachine before. They both seem to be bots with quite a bit of depth. So that's exciting. I think the end goal is to have bots that perform like humans in a way, and are able to bots that perform like humans in a way, and are able to just play a wide range of strategies, because I mean that's what you want. You don't want a bot that's like a one build wonder or anything. You want a bot that has just got good behavior programmed into it. Interestingly enough, we've got Spiny sending out a drone up to the top left. I imagine this must be for scouting, right? Like, yeah, or some sort of hidden base. That would be bizarre, but we've seen bots do lots of weird things, so who knows. Yeah, just a scouting drone checking out for any shenanigans. I do like that. Now we see the Reaper for MicroMachine coming in. The Reaper says, cancel offensive, 0%, 1 ally supply versus 0 enemy supply. Relaunch offensive, 55%, 1 ally supply versus 0 enemy supply. Cancel offensive. I'm not going to keep reading that out, but it's cool to see that MicroMachine does give us some information on how it decides basically whether to attack or not. And I think that that's actually really cool. Second Reaper is out for MicroMachine. I mean, the bot's got good micros, so why not keep using these Reapers non-stop? Grenade getting tossed down. These Reapers now going to be bouncing towards the back of this Zerg base. All the while, Spiny sending out lings all over across the map. Another Reaper is out for MicroMachine. Going to find that ling, kill it off. We also see MicroMachine with the behavior to pull off mules. Pull the mules off of that individual patch before it basically dies holding minerals, to being as efficient as possible with that programmed behavior. And yeah, these Reapers for MicroMachine just being a big pain for Spiny to deal with. So far the Reapers have actually killed off two drones. Is it going to be 3 drones? Yeah, 3 dead drones. So the Reapers for MicroMachine are actually going ham. Saying MicroMachine then with the BM saying, speedlings won't save you, my friend. The lings for Spiny are just running around, but they're kind of unsure what to do. This one Reaper's been going ham, killing off 3 drones. The speedlings might actually save Spiny, though, as we do see these Reapers getting pushed away. One's been killed off. Looks like a second maybe killed off. Spiny having to deal with these Reapers. Eventually able to clean them up, not taking too much damage. A little bit painful, though, for Spiny, but then again, I mean, MicroMachine's Reapers are really darn good, as we've seen. And behind this, MicroMachine doesn't actually have that good of an economy. I mean, the Heron bot is building a second command center just now, so very, very late. Another Reaper's running across the map, but there's not a lot back at home to deal with these lings. Looks like the Hellions are moving out on the map to try and help that Reaper. Finding these lings, gonna have to kite away against them. But oh, in come the lings, gonna try and get on top of these Hellions. A third one is out, a Banshee's out as well to help out. But Spiny now getting a little bit of counter damage done. Gonna choose to target down that SPV, which is cool to see. Not able to delay the CC, however. Yeah, now let's take a look here. There is a Cyclone popping out for MicroMachine. Banshee's out on the way too. Extra starports, so gonna be that mass air, mass Banshee style most likely. Spiny, however, has seen this, so should have a reaction prepared, and spore crawlers are already on the way. And, I mean, we have seen Spiny just really shoot ahead in the worker count, so that's not that good here for MicroMachine. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button on this video. I'm not sure if I've said that already. If we can hit 50 likes, that would be awesome. And then, of course, leave a comment for the bot, for the algorithm in the description. Leave a comment that says "Seedlings won't save you," for MicroMachine there. Now let's take a look. Roaches are on the way for Spiny. I believe the last game I commentated with Spiny, that was a lot of the focus. I want to say it was Spiny bot. I'll have to double check on that. Let's take a look. This Roachborn is being worked on by the Banshee, so a bit of a pain there for Spiny. MicroMachine now says going for air units after scouting the spire of Spiny. So both these players going for air units. Ironically, MicroMachine saying that after he went air units first. But yeah, your flock will be no match for my fleet. Hyperflight rotors are on the way for MicroMachine too, so continuously pressuring with these Banshees. Now, yeah, let's take a look here. Reaper gonna be running away from these lings, continuously being microed all over the place. Really interesting composition from MicroMachine, making a Marauder, making tanks, making Vikings, making Banshees, making Hellions. Just a really mixed bag from MicroMachine. MicroMachine also being a little bit spammy today too. Banshee harassing this hatchery that's building. Banshee also harassing this location. Already killed off the one Roachborn, now working away on this one. MicroMachine, interestingly enough, saying 15 ally supply versus 16 enemy supply. It makes you wonder what's seeing that. Because, I mean, I guess it's referring to the Banshee supply that MicroMachine has out on the map, or is it referring to the Vikings? I don't know, that's really interesting. MicroMachine having this in chat, I imagine this is for the debugging, for the dev, just so that he can see exactly how it behaves, and that's not going to be there all the time, so that is cool to see, to get a bit of a look to how these bots function. This Banshee is working away on this hatchery. Probably going to be able to kill it off. The Spiny having a really tough job reacting to this. Lots of spores are at this base to shoo away the Banshees. But, I mean, MicroMachine's Banshees are doing real well for themselves. Spore crawlers now being started. This Banshee just moving around, flying around all crazy like. Another spore being attempted. MicroMachine going to force a cancel on that one. Queen's transfusing his hatchery to keep it alive, which is interesting behavior from Spiny. Cool to see that being programmed in there. Looks like the Roaches, Hydras, and Lings are going to react, start pushing out to deal with MicroMachine's army. MicroMachine could be losing these tanks, and I think certainly will. MicroMachine with the stop hiding and fight insect. I'm not sure what that one's about, seeing as how it is, I'd say MicroMachine being the one who's running around more so with the guerrilla tactic, hit and run with the Banshees all over the place. All the while poor Spiny, just trying to keep it together. The mutas, however, are now able to shut down these Banshees. That Banshee, by the way, totally glitched there. Look at that Banshee. That is a gassing Banshee. That one's just going to town. Look at the flames coming out of that Banshee. That is a lot more flamey than usual, I think. Which makes me wonder, is that like part of the animation with hyperflight rotors or what? For now, though, we do see MicroMachine just all over on the map with its units. Spiny going for a counterattack, not getting too much damage done. Spiny is trying to shut down the space to the top right that MicroMachine went for, which is a very interesting location to try and take a base. Not sure what that one's about. Both these bots are just constantly spewing out units so they can trade out against each other. Looks like the Vikings of MicroMachine are getting worked on. Yeah, this is just crazy. It's kind of hard to keep track of these bot fights since they've got units just moving all over the place. Hydras, Roaches working away on those Hellions. Eventually, the harassment just never stops through these bots, I guess, because it's just so darn efficient with their unlimited APM. Mutas can try and deal with these Vikings. There's Hydras out on the map as well. Both bots are around 130, 120 supply. High-sec auto-tracking is on the way for MicroMachine, which I do like to see, but eventually MicroMachine's gonna need to secure up another base, as the main base is very oversaturated with constant SCV production. The space in the top right somehow has got up, by the way. Spiny, a little bit unsure of trying to snuff this out. Electing to retreat. Constantly spewing out mutas, hydras. Getting a hive on the way is pretty interesting. Even Infester's now out for Spiny. Muta's working away on the Banshees being a source of the anti-air, while the Hydras are trading with everything else. Fungal growth goes down on some of the Marauders to pick those off. I definitely don't mind Fungal against MicroMachine since everything runs away. I'm not sure if MicroMachine has got Fungal dodging or anything like that. I know that was something that Ketrock was working on adding into his bot at one point. I believe it's already been added because Fungal was, of course, good versus his late-game Masked Raven. So dodging Fungals is definitely a behavior that you can program into a bot, to an extent. Let's take a look. These Hydras trying to push everything away, but it does look like Spiny's having a tough time getting up a high enough supply to deal with this Terran. But MicroMachine, despite these constant engagements, is going to be getting pushed back. It looks like these units are just moving all over the place. It's kind of ridiculous. It does look like MicroMachine is taking the much better trades, though Spiny has lost twice as many resources. The constant moving tactics of MicroMachine just seem to work out pretty darn well for it, as units are just getting picked off all over the place. More Hydras, more Lings on the way for Spiny. It's just a constant stream of units for the Zerg bot, all the while the bot in the top, or the base in the top right for MicroMachine is still being defended, which is a good thing because MicroMachine might actually need this at some point, with starting to mine out in the main, starting to mine out in the natural. Queen's going to be retreating away. They've burned most of their transfuse. Looks like Spiny not having the easiest time breaking this location, but is still up on supply once again. Definitely on a better economy due to the higher frequency of bases. We take a look here. These units that are trying to harass the base of Spiny are probably just going to be getting picked off. The Banshees, though, with their constant harassment. Looks like that siege tank getting picked off. The Vikings are doing a very good job against the mutas. Their behavior seems to win out. Just kiting back non-stop, even flying over their turret for extra defense. Looks like those Spiny now starting to push up towards the top right. Not much mining going on at this location, all the while, of course, the Lings, the Overlords denying another base attempt from MicroMachine. I wonder if that's why MicroMachine just decided to take this base. But now we see MicroMachine starting to get to that very, very scary units with the battle cruiser on the way. And I think we saw a YOLO BC jump from MicroMachine in the past. Or what's that, Straylock? I'm trying to remember who did that. Either way, I love seeing bots build battle cruisers. This base in the top right is being harassed, but it hasn't actually been fully shut down yet by the Zerg player. Units still just constantly being picked off. Queen's moving forward for Spiny. Ling's getting on top of that siege tank, so that tank should get picked off. Queens are constantly transfusing each other as this Hydra works away on that tank. Looks like the Hydra will win out. Banshee's being pushed away. Overlords are constantly darting out for Spiny, which is kind of interesting, I guess just for scouting, I'm not sure. This base in the top right, having mules dropped on it, keeping the income coming from MicroMachine, but MicroMachine is going to be running out of gas before anything else, it looks like, with a decent mineral bank. 60 SCV saturation at the natural. These mules are being harassed by these Lings, going to be picking those off, hurting the economy of MicroMachine. All the while, these Hydras and Queens are trying to deal with this battle cruiser. The battle cruiser teleports out, and I guess that this is being played on the old patch, because that was an instant teleport, wasn't it? After 4 seconds, warps the target to the location. Battle cruiser not invulnerable while warping, or maybe I just missed that. Anyway, yeah, this must be on a new patch because it's on submarine. So maybe I just missed the initial warping animation there. Banshee's working away on this extractor. Yeah, this is just a constant skirmish between these bots. A base in the bottom left being attempted by Spiny is under harassment. Spiny builds spores, but it looks like some spines might do it good. But then again, of course, Cyclones and things can micro very well against Spines. Looks like the Mutas and Hydras coming in to defend this location. That means that Spiny might lose this base in the bottom or in the upper right, though, which would be pretty painful. Ling's harassing this base constantly. These bots are just skirmishing all over the place, but it does look like Spiny will be the bot to win out, just based on availability of bases. Like, I mean, MicroMachine's starting a long-distance spine, but is actually getting up a third base. Okay, that's good to see. So MicroMachine going to be having more longevity in this game. Getting this base up is actually very, very important. All of a sudden, it's a super saturated 53 SCV base, while Spiny has just been on a constant economy, keeping these bases up. Battlecruiser being worked on by these Hydras. We'll see if it's going to teleport out or not. Yeah, that BC teleported out instantly. Maybe this is on an old patch, but the new maps or something? I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, those BCs, they're getting out of there right away. They take the second to warp in, but not the second to warp out. I never knew that. I'll have to look in to see if all of these bot games are on older patches. I know that they do play on older versions for compatibility reasons, I think, but I wasn't aware that they were like older versions like this, interestingly enough. Now let's take a look. Tank's getting some good shots up on some Hydras, but it does look like Spiny is successfully defending this base. However, these constant trades can go on for a lot longer, seeing as how, I mean, both these bots have got fresh bases going, and as long as there's fresh bases, these bots really should never stop making units and never stop trading. Battlecruiser being microed against by these Hydras. Mutas, Hydras working away in this BC, trying to kill it off, but in theory it should never die as long as it's got a teleport. This one is on cooldown though, so the BC does die. Yeah, let's take a look. And that's actually something that's interesting if we think about it. If this is on an older patch where BCs instantly teleport away, you could in theory just program a bot that would literally never let a battlecruiser die. Just always teleport out instantly. Always avoid the danger. When you're low on HP, just teleport out. And that's what these bots have been doing, but that bot engaged before it was off cooldown, so maybe a behavioral thing by MicroMachine to consider. Just literally never let a BC die. If it's on cooldown, just don't move out or whatever. That would be an interesting concept for a bot. Of course, however, presumably on the newer patches that the BCs take time to teleport out, so not as ideal. Ling's constantly harassing the space in the bottom right. The Vikings never land for MicroMachine, so they're not going to be there to save it. However, MicroMachine still has got this fresh base up over here. And yeah, constant bot skirmishes between these two. 3-3s on the way for Spiny, Neural Parasites on the way. I want to see that behavior. The Vipers for Spiny just going crazy too. The March of the Queens as well. The army of Spiny is really getting scary, whereas MicroMachine's constant trading out style doesn't seem to be working. I think the telltale sign for MicroMachine being in trouble is when it starts making Reapers, as the Reapers just aren't that efficient. All the while, we now see Spiny has finally cleaned up the base in the top right, is taking this location now too, as the Vikings are just spamming in circles around this. This makes me wonder if MicroMachine still thinks this is its base. The Vikings did land for a second. Yeah, no, I was wondering if the Vikings were just hovering around this base because they think that this is still MicroMachine's base, and MicroMachine does this with air units at times. Or if that's simply just attacking behavior not really happening. Seeing as how there's Hellions and stuff showing up, maybe? The Vikings do land. Are they going to attack this? No, they just lift off right away, interestingly enough. Air units do come in, so good thing that the Vikings did lift off. Command Center trying to be saved by MicroMachine. Those roaches burrowing instantly, however, being a pain. Command Center going to land. Is it going to be repaired? Maybe drop a mule to repair it? I don't know if MicroMachine will do that. It does look like, though, that MicroMachine is starting to lose out. And it seems that the bots that just choose the better composition seem to do better against MicroMachine. As eventually MicroMachine's efficiency just starts to run out, it would seem. Or maybe just the bot needs to get better at taking more bases. As it did take a long time for MicroMachine to get up this extra location. It's definitely oversaturated on SCVs. So maybe MicroMachine needs to have like its SCV building behavior be looked at, or how it secures up bases, because taking that base in the top right wasn't ideal. So yeah, that's something to think about. Of course, there's always the conundrum: the more complicated you make a bot, the less likely it will be to, or you can almost like make a bot less efficient by making it more complicated. Simplicity is key at times. It does look like MicroMachine is going to lose out this game, however. Okay, yeah. MicroMachine just making units non-stop, still getting R8 trades. I'm not sure if it's trending up or down as far as efficiency goes. And I mean, MicroMachine's not dead yet, but Spiny is now at a comfortable max out, so that does by nature mean that its trades will be better. We see all these units coming forward. I'm not sure what Marauders are really doing for MicroMachine at this point in the game. Marauders and a few Hellions. I think you just gotta have better upgrades of your MicroMachine. Like, MicroMachine does neglect its upgrades too, which of course are gonna make like skirmishing styles like this less efficient. When you've got 0-0 Marauders trading out against 3-3 Roaches, it's just not as good as it could be. So this base is gonna die, and ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that Spiny is gonna win out in a good old ZVT. Well done by Spiny, eventually maxing out. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the game. Join the Discord if you haven't, it's linked down below. I added a Probot section to it. Consider subscribing if you made it to the end of the video and you aren't subbed. Consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. There's various perks you can get and such, like me casting your games and stuff, get coaching, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been LaughNgamez. Good night, everybody.